All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Today we have Oath or OathxX. So we have a Twitch streamer, entertainer, and we're just talking about hair color being purple, which is really awesome as well. I'm really excited to have a bit of a chat today and go through. Obviously, the real life Spartan tagged you in to have a bit of a chat, so it's going to be good to get to know you, get your thoughts on the Halo Infinite news, and kind of like what the goals are between now and then, how you got to where you are now. But did I miss anything in that introduction?
No, I think you got it.
Awesome. Yeah. So what have you thought about all of the, like, since last Sunday, all the Infinite news we've got? What, like, personally, what have you been thinking about it?
I'm so excited. I feel like we've just been getting like breadcrumbs for like years now. And then that was just the biggest bulk of info and gameplay and everything we've gotten in so long. And now it's just like, I just want it now.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. It looks great.
Yeah, it does. Hey, and like, I don't know, I'm one of those people who had like this, I watched it with super critical eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like I'm like, okay, you know, I've invested money into this and I want this to be something that I can make a business off of in the future. I really want this to be perfect. And then the more I watched it, the more I was like, hey, they've really like, you know, nailed some you know, hit some things on the head here. But what are you most excited for? Are you more like going to be multiplayer, or do you love the backstory for the campaign? Where's like your passion?
I'm going to say my roots are in campaign. Like, I am most excited to see where the story progresses. That's like, the campaign is what got me hooked on Halo, and it's like what's kept me stuck with Xbox and Halo for so long. So I can't wait for the campaign. I can already tell it's going to make me bawl my eyes out. Yeah. But multiplayer is something that like held me over until the next campaign. Now I'm like really into multiplayer. So, and it looks amazing. So I'm really excited for both, but yeah, definitely the story is what I'm like dying to play.
Yeah. I haven't done too much research into how the campaign, like all the info we've got for it, but how do you see it kind of playing out? It's meant to be what, like it's following after Halo 5?
I'm sure they're taking, like, it has to, but it's giving me more like Halo 4 vibes. So, because like I was expecting from how 5 left off that it'd be like Chief has to get Cortana and like make her not crazy anymore, and Blue Team's gonna like carry on that timeline. But it looks like we got this trailer and they're like, oh, Cortana's deleted and here's this new AI that looks like her. And I'm like, okay. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be new.
Yeah. I just quickly looked it up. As far as timeline wise, it fits in after the events of Halo 5 and Halo Wars 2. So everything that's kind of happened in there. So it makes sense what you were just saying. But yeah, I'm interested to see how it happens, because I thought that the information we got last year around campaign was just so subtle, and it was like they didn't know the direction, right? Like,
I had no idea where it was going based on that.
yeah, it's kind of like, all right, this looks good, but like, what's going to happen? And now we're like, okay, we know exactly, you know, the first kind of thing that you're doing is figuring out, like, you know, what's going on with this new AI, you know, and where are we going from here? And then how does the Banished fit into that? Do they, you know, did they play a big part in it? So it's going to be really interesting, I think, to see where all that goes. But do you play competitively as well, or is it just super social?
I'm like a really sweaty casual. I've never officially been in the competitive scene or anything. There was a time during Halo 5 when I was like really grinding in champ and like just like SWAT and elimination. For whatever reason, those are like my favorite playlists.
Yeah.
But I've never like played in tournaments or anything, and I don't really have a desire to, but I like to win. So
I get you.
So I'll play ranked, but I'm not like trying to join a team or anything.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Because that's one of the things I think we've got like a big hole around at the moment as far as information. We've got all this really cool stuff as far as like abilities and equipments and like, you know, then we even know what some of the maps are going to look like and that type of thing. And then we've got this whole where like, how's that all going to fit into if we've got a, you know, competitive scene going on, you know? Is the grapple hook going to be a really big part of that? You know, like, is it going to be multiple use? Like, I think it looks like what we've seen, you know, everything else looks like it's kind of one time, but what are your kind of opinions on all the equipment? How do you think that's going to roll into it?
I think it's cool. I've heard a lot of mixed feelings about the grapple hook, but I think it's awesome.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, and I like that they're like equipable. it's going to be an adjustment, but it's not like Reach where you spawn in with like evade or armor lock. Like everyone has even playing field with that. And I think just looking at how the multiplayer reveal went, it looks like maybe the skill level is going to have to be a lot higher just with all of this new movement. So
Yeah.
I think it looks fun though. I like it.
Yeah. And I think what I like most about how the grapple hook seems to work is like you're kind of committed to it, right? Like once you used it, you're kind of in the air for a bit. So if you go
wherever it went is where you're going.
yeah. And so if you go to this like over ambitious, I'm going across the map thing, you're more than likely going to die. You're right. But if you go, you can use it in such subtle ways, you know, like picking up objectives or doing whatever that, you know, does have that ability to kind of, you know, give you an extended arm, I think, you know, rather than like, yeah. So really excited to see how that works. What do you think about the holding overshield and invis and then like kind of just popping it whenever?
That's going to be an adjustment because I'm so used to it activating immediately.
Yeah.
But I mean, I assume they're just trying to keep like the abilities fluid. Like it'd be kind of weird if one like activated immediately and all the others you use whenever. So, and I think they said you can drop it. So that's interesting. I think it's cool.
We were talking about overshield and invis being, you know, like kind of you're holding it and then you choose when to use it. What do you think about that?
I think it's just like a consistency thing. I think I'm definitely gonna like probably for a while at least automatically like equip it myself just out of habit. But I feel like if you're smart about it, you'll probably save it until you need it. Yeah. But I like it. It's not like a negative for me.
Yeah, I think so as well. I'm really interested to see, because in each Halo it has like a certain iteration between like picking it up or like using it, and then you know what I mean. So like in Halo 3, if you're weak and you pick it up, you've got like what, maybe 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds of like invincibility as the overshield kind of like registers and then fully loads. So I'm wondering if if that's the same thing with like when you put it in, or is it more like, you know, I think the Halo 5 or, you know, even I think Reach was more like that, where as soon as you pick it up, your health just goes like straight to overshield, and any damage that you're taking while that animation is happening also is considered into it. So, because, you know, if you get that brief period of like invincibility, I think, you know, it's going to be like crazy to see what people can do with that. You know, you pop around a corner, you see 4 people, you're like, all right, here we go, chuck it on, you know, jump out and get to and make some moves. So that'll be interesting. Yeah. But yeah, it's also like, you know, how does that play in competitive? Because in social, I think everyone's going to have a lot of fun with it. But yeah, what do you think about the maps that we saw as well?
They look good. I am awful with names. I don't know if they put any names out there and I just missed them. But the one map that they showed way earlier in like a screenshot reminds me a lot of a Halo 4 map. But someone already recreated it, I think in like either MCC Forge or I thought it was like a Halo 5 Forge.
Yeah.
And they somehow like recreated the entire map just from the trailer. So I'm just excited to see what people make in Infinite's like Forge ability. And then I think the maps look cool. It looked like they had some diversity there. So I'm excited to see what they look like actually playing and like in engine. So
yeah, same.
That'll be fun.
I think, you know, I hope they do this more in Infinite, is like they use like a creator hub of maps and can kind of see what people are choosing to play the most from there, like in custom games, and then turn those into matchmaking. Because like in Halo 5, they have the, you know, every now and again, this is like, oh, there's Forge community created maps, right? And I think they've been the same for the last 5 years. I think they had like you know, I can't even remember the names of them, and some of them are really good, but others it's just like, okay, you know, like that was a great idea at the time, but like it doesn't really play that well. And there's so many amazing Forge creators out there that just put out these like really immersive maps that are well thought out. You know, some of them have got ties to like, you know, actual events in the Halo lore as well. So it's I think super interesting. I hope they bring that into it more as well. But what do you think about the like customization and the armor abilities and all that?
I'm so excited. I am the type of person who can like I almost try to avoid doing like character customization on stream because I will straight up spend an hour and a half on it or more. Like I loved in Reach all the customizations they had, and then I was like kind of disappointed in 4, and then 5 was like a little better. So seeing that they're going to let you literally break down your Spartan like piece by piece is like my favorite thing, especially if they have armor effects. I know they confirmed you can't choose like your primary, secondary, tertiary color, but they have coatings, and the coatings we've seen so far look really good. And I also, I'm like really holding out because I didn't do a bunch of the code things for the promos, so I only have like maybe like one pre-done skin, but I did get 152 in Halo 5 this year, so I know I'm getting the Watchdog skin.
Yeah.
So I'm holding out for that one.
Yeah. Well, and I think that they said with the, like when they were talking about the 152 skins, that's like a few things. There could be other things that we get as well.
I hope it's more.
yeah, same. I did the grind recently. I did I knew I wasn't going to be able to play for a while, so I did 25 million XP in 25 days. So
I saw that on your channel. I didn't know if it was real.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It shouldn't have been real. It was a terrible, very unhealthy grind. But when I got to 152 after that, and I was like, people played for years to get this, and then it's so underwhelming, right? You get that pack that comes up. Like, I made a video for my Instagram where when I opened that pack, it gave me 2 legendary gold boost packs in it, right?
Yeah, I could have used those before this. But
I spent $350 buying XP packs, right?
I think I spent about 150.
Yeah. And then it gives me them at the end, and I'm like, you know what? That's so bad, right?
Kind of rude.
yeah, exactly. Like, I'm never playing Halo 5 again right now. But no, I think it's a really good opportunity for them in Halo Infinite to make sure that, I'd say because there is so much customization, they could give you one of each customization thing for hitting 152, right? Like a coating, an emblem, or whatever they decide to do with that, the armor, and then something maybe like a coating for weapons, if that, how that works. I think that would be a really cool way to do it, so that it's something that you can only get from doing that. Which that kind of leads me into the thoughts on like the battle pass side of things. How do you reckon? What do you think about that?
I have never used battle passes outside of like battle royales, but it looks like the way 343 is doing it is like really user friendly. Like they said you can choose, or you can buy a battle pass from previous seasons. It never expires. You can always work towards them like in different increments. So that seems really user friendly. Yeah. I'm the type of person where like I don't buy microtransactions for most games. So for Halo, like I'll do it. But it looks like they're having like a lot of ways for people who maybe if you're young and you like don't have a part-time job or you're tight on money, you can earn it in game. And then they also gave me some confidence with I think they said if it's something that you earn in game, like people can't just buy it. They can't surpass that. So that gave me hope for the 152 rewards, because people were like, oh, it'll be available in like 6 months. And that grind's too hard for them to give it away. I'd be so mad.
That's such a slap in the face to just be like,
oh my God.
I did it. And then
for $5.99, like I spent $150 on that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that's so funny. Yeah, I think it's really good. Recently on like Twitter especially, there's been a lot of the Apex community and Warzone community that have been talking about what they've seen from Halo 5's announcements on the Battle Pass, and they've been like, look at this, like this is what we
do this.
do this in our game as well. But it's just it's such a good opportunity, I think, for 343 to give us this game that over each month or week kind of, it starts to evolve and people want to come back to it more and more, right? And because because it doesn't expire, you've got a casual gamer who buys the first battle pass, puts some serious work into it, and then for whatever reason, life gets in the way, doesn't play for a while, and then in a month from then decides, all right, you know what, I'm going to play, and they've got that whole battle pass that they already paid for, plus there's like all this other, you can
pick and choose. Yeah,
and you can kind of say, oh, I really like that, I want to do that, So I do hope that they put in, like Call of Duty has a system where as you work through the battle pass, it gives you some COD points. So like after every 3, if you've worked through it, you could actually get a whole thing for free.
That'd be nice, yeah.
Completing them. So I think that'd be a really good way as well for like you're saying, younger kids, maybe you don't have the money or it's not going to be as accessible for you. If you consistently play month after month, and you're kind of working through them, you get this bonus of one's going to be for free in 3 months or 4 months or something like that. I think a cool way to do it. But
that'd be nice.
I'm so ready to sit down and just customize my Spartan and make it, you know.
I can't wait.
Yeah. What about the idea of red versus blue being gone? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't mind it, honestly. And that kind of goes hand in hand with the customizations because, like, in Halo 5, that's my most recent Spartan besides MCC, but, you know, it was the last released main title. So, like, I loved customizing my Spartan, even though it was limited. I loved how it looked. And then you'd be in game and it would have that entry animation. And all I could tell was, like, what armor I was wearing in the visor, but you couldn't see, like, the colorization. So
yeah,
it might be a little confusing for my little brain at first when they're not blatantly red or blue. But
I think that's going to be a really good place to, when you're playing with friends, just be betrayals going off everywhere, right? Like, I honestly didn't know, you know, like it was red but kind of bluish, right? Like, I'm not sure.
Their armor was red, but like their outline was blue. So
yeah. No, I'm excited to see how they do that. But I think it's good to move away from it because a lot of people, people wanted something groundbreaking, but I think that all of these little things they've done has made one big substantial change to Halo.
Like the best of many worlds.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really excited. I can't wait to see how it goes. And like, you know, on that midnight when it comes out, just to sit down and have a new Halo and get that that feeling again of just like, oh, I can't wait to just get through the campaign, jump into multiplayer, you know, and seeing so many people back involved with it again.
Oh, it's gonna be so nice.
Exciting, yeah. But so tell me a little bit more about like your kind of journey with Halo. Like, how long ago did you start playing like computer games and stuff? Has it always been like with you, or?
So I didn't start playing Halo until I was like, I want to say 12, but I was gaming before that.
What were the games growing up?
Let's see. I guess I originally was a PC gamer.
Cool.
And like, I mean, I had a Game Boy and a Game Boy SP and like the iterations of that. So I was like always playing like Spyro, Zelda, Pokemon, big fan of Pokemon, probably like top 3 games ever. So I was always playing like handheld like that. And then my brother, I have a brother who's 5 years older than me. And we used to like fight each other for the one computer in the house to like play Zoo Tycoon.
Yes. Oh, I remember that game so much.
And like, you know, he's bigger. So we're like fighting each other to have our like butt in the chair. And like, I'm like micromanaging him while he's trying to run the zoo when we're both going bankrupt. And like, so PC games like that. And then I feel like I played Xbox at like my childhood best friend's house. We play like Attack and the Power of Juju and like Fusion Frenzy, old games like that. And then at home, my brother had a 360, and this was around like 12 or 11 or whatever. And I wasn't allowed to play the Xbox. I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, my parents didn't want me to play it because like he had like Gears and COD and Halo, and they were like, it's too violent for you.
Okay, yeah.
So I just eventually like one day snuck into the basement while everyone was like watching TV and was like, I'm going to play Xbox. And I just picked Halo randomly because I liked the cover art. And then I played the campaign and I was like, I'm doing this now.
It's so
and
fun.
They just let it slide. So that's how I got into it.
Yeah, awesome. I love that. Yeah, one of the things I talk about this in every episode, so most people that watch the podcast will know what I'm about to say, but I love this idea of that you've got like a Halo dealer, right? When you're like somebody, it's like, you know, you go to your best friend's house after school and then they've got Halo, right? Or it's like, you know, I think for Patman on the last episode of the podcast, it was his dad and his uncle who like were nerding out over the new Xbox and came back with the Xbox and Halo, you know, and just, you know, I love that idea because it's a whole part of that Halo journey, right? And then it's one of those games where like what you experienced, you know, when you sat down to play it, it's just this world that opens up in front of you of just, so many cool things. The music's so immersive, you know, everything just makes you go, oh, I really want to be a part of this more.
Yeah.
Right.
That was like my first time playing like a actual full, I guess you can say like Pokemon, like Zelda and Spyro, but like an Xbox, like to that caliber. I'm not like downplaying Zelda. I know the stories are amazing, but but like sitting down and playing like by myself, like an Xbox game. And obviously Halo's story is like there's so much lore and there's so much that goes into it. So like my little like 13, 12-year-old mind was just like blown, and I was like immediately addicted.
Yeah, for sure. I want to touch on Pokemon quickly because Pokemon is probably the game that's given me the most, right, in my life. Like I've made some of my like longest term real life friends because of Pokemon, and love it. What if you had to choose like a version of Pokemon or a generation? What's like your favorite?
Silver. I absolutely loved Silver. I think my first one was either blue or yellow, and I love yellow. And I loved Ruby as well, but Silver, it was like the first one where I like had a really epic team, and I had like Lugia, and it was the best. So I have Soul Silver now, and I like just look back on that one super fondly.
Yeah. I think Soul Silver was one of the best Pokemon games ever. Like being able to go back and experience that, and it's kind of got its own creative little art and everything a bit more as well. Yeah, Pokemon's just one of those games. Hey, it's kind of like similar to Halo, where you kind of sit down and you get immersed in it, and then it's like, yep, I'm going to do this now. This is part of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Did you see any of the news for the new games that they've got coming out for Pokemon?
Yeah, some of it. I stopped playing the new gens after Diamond, and then my college roommate and I played Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, and that got me back into it. And then not Soul Silver, Sword and Shield got me like out of it again. But now I see they're making like a new Pokemon Snap, and I remember playing that on like the N64. Yeah. And I don't know. I know I saw something else that they're making, but they had me excited.
Yeah, they're doing Diamond and Pearl remakes, which the art style for it's more like that. I don't know if I'm going to say the word right. Like chibi, is it? Like
chibi style?
Yeah.
Like cutesy.
Cutesy, yeah. And so lots of people kind of like, I don't know how I feel about that. But that's Diamond Pearl's like a great generation. I think that's when I first learned about like properly using IVs and EVs and breeding and natures and all that type of stuff. So that's gonna be cool. But then they've got another one that's called Legends of Arceus, which is going to be like an open world Pokemon game.
Yes, I think I did see something with that, and that gets me excited.
I can't wait to see how they do it, because if you play Pokemon Snap or you watch some of the Pokemon Snap stuff, although it's super linear and you're on a track and you're kind of going through it, that part of what you're seeing is essentially like an open world, right? Like it's not like from above you're a character walking around, and it just looks incredible the way that all the Pokemon can kind of interact with the environments and everything like that. So I'm really excited to see what they would do with that. Excuse me, but then they've also got Pokemon Unite coming out, which is like a League of Legends style game where there's like bases at either end and 3 lanes to go through, and you kind of play as a Pokemon with their own move set and everything to go and level up and evolve and then take points and into that. Like, I don't know, I just love the fact that they're coming up with like different ways to bring Pokemon back, because I think like you said, you fall in and out of it. Like Sword and Shield didn't really do it for me, even though I played it the whole way through. You need something to kind of pull you back, and I'm hoping that one of these other games is kind of what does it, right?
I hope the new like open world one kind of takes a page from Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, because being able to have like one of your Pokemon either like follow you or like riding one around was like my favorite part. Oh yeah, I had like an Arcanine and I just rode it everywhere. It was the greatest.
I had a shiny Rapidash, and it's like, it looks like a galaxy horse, right? You just ride.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Okay, so how old were you when you were playing Halo for the first time? That was like 13, you were saying?
Like around 12, 13, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And so then you played the whole way through? Like you played Halo 2 and 3 and 4, or did you kind of jump out in and out?
3 was my first. And then I went back and played 1 and 2 and then went forward. But like, and this is like the pinned tweet on my Twitter, I was super naive to everything multiplayer and Xbox. Like I didn't even know what it was. I'd always play single player games. So when I first played Halo 3, the only thing that I kind of recognized was the word campaign. So I played that like probably 3 times. And then I was like, what are these other things? And I was really like, I did everything before matchmaking. Because for whatever reason, I was like, oh my God, what if it's like a dating app in this game? And I click on it and then I get in trouble because I'm like on the internet and I'm like 12.
That's so funny.
So I finally tried it and I was like, oh, I've seen this.
That's so indicative of the internet back then though, right? like you thought around every corner there was going to be a naked
something inappropriate.
yeah, something just coming up, right? Oh, that's so awesome. And then this experience be like, oh, I'm still playing the game.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was. I was like, why? Like, because in my head I knew it was like, it wouldn't make any sense. Like, why would there be a dating app here? But like, I don't know how this works, and it's called matchmaking. So I was so confused, but eventually I did it, and I was like, oh, I see.
And so, what was the first matchmaking you played? Was it Halo 3?
Yeah. I think I just did like Slayer and the Halo 3 days. It was before I knew like SWAT and everything, so I pretty much just did Slayer and Lone Wolf. Those were like my two mains.
Awesome. Do you remember? What was your highest skill in Halo 3?
Brigadier General Grade 3, and I think the rank was 45. So
wow,
I got up there.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't know why, but it's such an impulsive question for me when we're talking about Halo 3, just to be like, so what was your highest skill?
So what were you?
Yeah.
I think that was in Lone Wolf. Slayer was lower.
Wow, but 45 and I think Lone Wolves is probably one of the hardest playlists to get a 50 in. Right?
I wasn't good for a very long time.
Yeah.
I was awful for a while.
Yeah. I'll be the first person to admit that I got carried to my first 50. So, it was somebody else that was really good that got me there. But
yeah, my brother and his friends were good, and I 1v1'd his like best friend, and he absolutely like, I think I got one kill with him on Guardian with a needler, and he swiped the floor with me, and I got humbled.
Yeah. Humbled. Yeah, I love that. But hey, I love that, because did you see the post? Oh, who put it out? Where it was like, what's the best Halo weapon? It was on Twitter, and it was just like the needler.
OP.
Yeah. But I love it because it's like for competitive players, right? Everyone kind of like blows it off. But if you're a social player and you're trying to get better at the game, picking up a needler is like a really decent way to just pick up a kill, right? Mm-hmm. if you can.
It's just so strong, and it tracks, and it like it's good.
Yeah. I actually love I love it. I just think that I reckon there should be a game mode where everybody has needlers, right?
Oh my god, that'd be chaotic.
Yeah, chaotic. And like instant respawns, so like it's just always needles going everywhere. But
oh my god,
we could probably make that a custom game. Maybe I'll try and do that.
You could definitely do that.
Yeah. Okay. So then, what about Halo 4? Did you like Halo 4 and Reach? No, Reach is next. Did you like Reach?
Yes, I loved Reach. And here's like the huge difference. In Halo 3, I had no friends that played Xbox.
Yeah.
So that was like the weird era of my gaming where like I just met people in matchmaking and had a bunch of like random online friends. And we played customs all the time. And then by the time Reach came out, I was like, those people had been like offline for years because they all like grew up. Yeah. And then I like my middle school and high school friends all had Reach, so we would forge together, and I love the customizations. We did custom games all the time, like sword tournament and stuff. And I started getting into like SWAT and matchmaking a little more aggressively in Reach. Yeah. So I had a good time with Reach, and the campaign's great. So
yeah, I think Reach is probably the game I played the most, like the Halo that I played the most.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather say that about Halo 3 because I think I liked Halo 3 more, but yeah, Reach, I don't know what it was. I could just sit and play multi-team King of the Hill on whatever map and just never run to the objective for hours, right? Like, I loved that. But yeah, and then we had Halo 4 come out, and that we obviously saw a dive in population and stuff there. But what were your thoughts? Did you like Halo 4?
I loved the story. I thought the campaign was great. But it didn't keep me for replay for like a while. Like I took, I think like pretty much a solid year off of Halo, or just going back and playing previous Halos, because I didn't like the Spartan design. I didn't like the customizations. It was like a huge step down from Reach. Yeah. And then the multiplayer just felt weird to me. And I know that they improved it a lot over time, but I just kind of checked out for a while. And now I really like 4. It's probably the one that I play the most right now on MCC.
Yeah, it's so weird. I really liked playing it on MCC as well, but I just couldn't stand it when it initially came out.
It didn't do it for me. Yeah.
I don't know what it was. I think it felt weird, and it felt a little bit like clunky, maybe. I don't know. And yeah, I'm glad they took some of those things, because I really liked that they improved thrust and then brought it into Halo 5, because I think that was like a really important mechanic for us to have in Halo 5. and I'd say it's probably one of the reasons why Halo 5 had as much of a competitive lifestyle as it did, because it was just this new thing that meant that, there was another skill gap, being able to use thrust to, 1 in a fight, 2 movement around the map, all that type of stuff. But what did you like Halo 5 as well? Obviously, you're still kind of playing Halo 5 a little bit.
Yeah, not so much now that I'm max rank, but I got a ton of replay value out of Halo 5, and that's the Halo I started streaming with. So the campaign, we don't talk, we know, we don't talk about it. But I mean, there's a lot of great custom games in Halo 5. I used to have social nights like twice a week on my stream where we just played custom games all night. And that was really popular for my community. And I love the multiplayer. That's where I really got into ranks. And I was like, I love SWAT any limb. I want to be in the champ rank with that. So I think the multiplayer for 5 is really great and competitive. And it's hard to pick up. If I go back to Halo 5 right now, I can get shat on. But but when you're good at it and you've been playing it and you're used to it, the movement is really really and dynamic compared to past games. So I like 5.
Yeah, no, I agree. I liked it for that as well. What do you think the reason is that it feels so competitive? Do you reckon it's the MMR and the way that the matchmaking works, or?
Yeah, it's probably a mix of the search and rank system, and then also just the people who still play Halo 5 are really sweaty at Halo 5. Yeah. And it's the game that's been out, the most recent title that's been out for a while now. So that's the latest champ scene, or not champ scene, but competitive scene. So
yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, and so the population's low but super competitive. So
yeah, you hop in Halo 5 as a noob right now, you're not gonna have a good time.
It's hard. But so you're mainly at the moment, you're kind of streaming and playing just MCC?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just mainly playing social? You're playing customs and stuff, or?
I really don't do customs in MCC for whatever reason. I don't know why. Usually social, I just search whichever playlist in Halo I'm feeling that day. But I play competitive sometimes, but only Halo 4 squads.
Yeah.
Halo 3 competitive makes me sad.
Yeah. And I haven't played MCC for a while. Is there a big deal with cheaters at the moment? People flying around and doing I think the guy in Halo 3 had a game inside Jester Snipes or something. I remember seeing this when I was playing Halo 3, just flying the map, no scoping people with a flaming helmet. So is that still a thing?
I've encountered it maybe once or twice. I don't play a lot of competitive 3. I know it's going on, but I haven't encountered it a lot, so it hasn't been something that is driving me crazy. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good, because if everyone you spoke to was having that experience, then that'd be terrible. But
yeah. On social, I'd never see that. I've seen it maybe once this year.
Yeah.
So not a huge deal for me.
Yeah. So it's probably just the hardcore competitive guys, or someone that wants to mess with those type of people.
I mean, if I was super sweaty and playing competitive 3, I would lose my mind if that was happening all the time.
Yeah. And it definitely. So tell me a little bit more about the Twitch and the streaming side of things, because you were saying, so you started that in 2016 with Halo 5, right?
Yeah.
Was that something what made you want to do it? Was there someone that you were watching already and you were like, hey, that looks like fun, I want to do it as well? Or
no, it was really stupid. I knew of Twitch, but I didn't really watch Twitch or anything. I randomly had a custom HUD overlay because my first boyfriend was really into Smash Bros, and he watched it and he was like, do you want a Twitch overlay in case you ever stream? And I was like, sure. So I had that for years for no reason. But so I got into streaming because this is the stupidest story. I was a sophomore in college and I had just gotten a part-time job. I just joined a club sport. I was like, I'm going to be super social and into everything, because that's not how I am naturally. So it's I'm going to force myself to do these things.
Yeah.
And I think 2 months into the semester, my friends and I were walking to Panera, which is downtown past campus. And there's a double curb in front of the cross area.
Yeah.
And I stepped down one of them, and then we got like a stop sign. And by the time it said walk, I forgot that there was another. And I tripped very slowly and anticlimactically in front of a lot of people. And it was just in the worst position, I guess.
Yeah.
And I had to like crawl up the road because I couldn't stand. And I went to class for the rest of the day. But long story short, I fractured my fifth metatarsal and tore all the ligaments in my foot.
Yeah.
So it was like all jacked up, and I was in a boot and on crutches and on painkillers, and I had to like quit my part-time job, drop out of the club sport. And I was like, oh my God, I'm missing out on everything. Like, I'm not going to make friends. I'm not going to make any money. Like, I'm just stuck in my going to class and coming home. So I was playing a lot of Halo anyway. I think that was Halo 5. And I was like, I'm not bad at this game and I'm bored. So I was like, I think I have like this random Twitch overlay from that one time. So I like Googled like how to stream on Twitch, and I literally knew nothing about it. So I just taught myself and downloaded the programs, and I didn't even stream Halo to start because I didn't have like a capture card or anything. So I started out as like a indie horror streamer for like a month, and then I figured out how to like, I mirrored my Xbox app onto something else, and like it was this really weird way of doing it, but that's how I started.
Yeah, I love how many ways there are to, if you want to go live, you can.
You can figure it out if you want to bad enough, and I had enough time, so.
Yeah. That's such a long story, and it could have gone so many ways, and I love it, right? Like, I was thinking like, you were going to fall, and like you were going to fall onto somebody who then told you about it. And I was like, okay, cool. Maybe that's it. Or maybe it was like you fell and like got embarrassed and then just went into the room. But you broke so much. You hurt yourself so badly from that fall. All right. Like, yeah, I can imagine. And then, so you got into streaming doing that. Who was watching you at the start? Was it like just friends and family, or you did you have a big period of that 0 viewer, 1 viewer kind of thing, or?
Yeah, so for my first stream, I like texted all my college friends and I was like, can you guys please watch me? So like for my first stream, I had like 5 viewers, and it was like 5 of my friends. But after that, like they're not going to do it. So I had probably 2 weeks of streaming with like 0 to 1 viewer. And like I almost got to the point where I was like so comfortable just talking to myself that like one person would come and I'd be like, oh no, like, what do I do? But I have no idea how I grew, because I don't have a YouTube. I didn't use Twitter. I didn't have an Instagram for it. Like I somehow just grew purely through Twitch. And like I streamed Welcome to the Game, which had like 5 people watching it. And then I switched to Dead by Daylight. So like I probably had a month of like 0 to 1 or 2. And then by month 2, I had like 4 to 5 people who would come and watch. And then I think by month 6 is when I was around like 15, 18, 20-ish.
Wow, yeah.
And that's when I was like starting to get into Halo as well. I had been streaming Halo for like 2 months, I think, like in a really weird way.
Yeah.
And then I had to stop. So I stopped for 2 months for health reasons. And then when I came back, I basically had to start over.
Yeah. Well,
it was a mess.
Cool. That progression is awesome. Because it kind of shows you that you had the talent for it, and that people obviously found you entertaining, But that's really cool. So month 6, you were kind of already at like that 18, 20 kind of mark.
Yeah, it took a while to push past 20. Like I think I sat at 20, like 18 to 20 for like a while, and then once you break past that is when you can start getting like 30, 40, 50, 60. But it takes a while to get past that. So
where would you say you're sitting at the moment?
Oh man, it fluctuates. A couple months ago, like when I first like got into Grassroots, I was sitting at like 70, 80. And now like some hype has died down a little bit. So now if I'm streaming Halo, I'd say it ranges from like the 35 to 60 range. And then if I'm doing like a variety game, like because I'm waiting for Infinite. So sometimes I stream a different game. It'll be more around like 29 to 40.
Yeah.
So it kind of fluctuates a lot, but I would say like 35 to like 60 at the moment. 60 is the high end. Like last stream I got up to like 80 without a host, I think. And I was like, okay, this is
okay. We like that. So what other games have you been playing in the kind of wait for Infinite?
Um, Last year I was doing a little bit of Minecraft. I love horror games. Like outside of Halo, I love things that scare me.
Ooh.
So Resident Evil 8 came out, I streamed that. Little Nightmares 2 when that came out. Right now, I'll occasionally throw in like a Subnautica Below Zero stream because I love the first one and this one's like just as good. So I love that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, any spooky games that come out that I like, I'll like probably toss into my stream schedule.
Yeah, yeah. You're complete opposite to me. I don't even watch scary movies because I know I'm going to get scared, and I just don't want to be scared. So
I just love spooky things. I don't know why.
what's the thrill? Like, you know something's going to happen, and then you get scared, and you're like, okay, now I'm scared. Like,
I don't know. I just like it. It's like I love like going to like those haunted houses where there's actors like trying to scare you, and like roller coasters and scary movies and scary podcasts and like I've got Corpse merch. Like I used to listen to Corpse when I was in like middle school and high school because he would tell like creepy pastas. And I would read them in my bed at like 3 a.m. and scare I don't know why. But yeah. I just like it.
Yeah. I guess it's a way to live, right? Like it makes you feel some kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then so you've now got, I've seen an Instagram and you're on Twitter. And in Grassroots with Halo, which is all awesome. Since that like month 6, because we're now like what 4 or 5 years past when you first initially started. What's kind of been the stuff that's happened in that time that's made you realize, oh, I really like doing this and I want to keep doing it? You know, have you had really positive experiences?
Yeah, I mean, there's always a balance. Don't get me wrong. There's been so many weird things that have come out of streaming that I'm like, okay, like why do I subject myself to this? But yeah, I mean, it just opened so many doors. Like I started streaming because I was bored. And then I ended up really liking it. Like I didn't expect to do it as long as I am or for it to grow as much as it did. It just did. And I'm still kind of in the mindset of, oh, I do this for fun. Yeah. So it's crazy now that there's like podcasts and sponsors and teams that like want to work with you. So that's cool. It opens up doors. Like I love Halo, and the fact that like I'm now partnered in a way with 343 is like insane to me. Yeah. So that and like the community aspect, like every so often you'll get a message from a viewer who's either like a chatter or a lurker, and they'll say like, oh, I've been going through a really hard time this year, and like your stream is like the one thing that I look forward to, or it helped me get through this, or you said this thing on your stream and it really like helped me with this problem I'm having. And it's like, I did something. Yeah. So like I just play games. So I'm like, if that like helps someone, it's like, it feels nice.
Yeah. But I can already tell from your energy and like in the time that we've been talking, you know, like that positive energy and your personality, you know, there'd be so many people in the world that just don't have a friend like that, you know, or someone that can kind of help them. Well, I mean, especially during COVID, right? Like,
yeah, definitely.
You know, like, I'm a super social person, but I've been in Canada and haven't been able to make friends, right? And like go outside. Yeah. Well, so, you know, I'm sure that right now there's people that come into your stream that hear you talking, having fun, and it's just something that they can tune into. And it's a really awesome way for them to kind of be like, wow, you know, like there's still, you know, there's all these people out there having fun and, you know, doing whatever. And so, yeah, like you can tell that you're having that positive effect on your community, which is awesome. What's it been like working with like Grassroots? Do they, what kind of, do they give you more support? They obviously put on like the play dates and stuff, but we don't hear too much about it when we're not involved. So what's it like working with them?
It's really cool just to work with like people, like actual 343 employees, like, and just talk to them casually. I'm like, you work for that company, but they're super chill. Like Div, Tashi, and Lalo are the ones that I talk to the most. They're super chill. So like the play dates, either we will come up with a play date idea or they will like come up with an idea and ask us to put it together. So the Grassroots members organize it. I think I've been in Grassroots for like a couple months, and I've probably organized like 5 or 6 events now, and like put together several montages for them and like all these different things. So it's some extra work, but it helps me kind of meet these other Grassroots people and get to like, I think we've done a couple girls BTB play dates, and that's really nice because I feel like I know like 2 girls in the Halo community. Yeah. So that's helped me get to know them more and get to know some of the other creators. And then obviously getting all these nameplates to give away, and then we get them, and getting to kind of get some inside scoops on like new content for MCC and stuff. So that's fun.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Well, if any people are watching this that want to be content creators, there's a whole lot of reasons right there to kind of keep pushing to become a Grassroots member, because that'd be awesome stuff. Yeah. And what I was going to say, you mentioned before that there was a whole heap of like weird things that kind of have streaming's brought on as well. Do you want to share any of those?
Oh boy, there's so many to choose from.
Pick like a top 2 or 3.
Is this like a PG podcast?
No, you can say whatever you want.
Okay. Oh boy, it ranges. So, like, here's like a not that weird situation, but this literally happened this morning while I was at the gym. I got a text or a DM on Discord from someone who was like, "Hey, my account gifted you and like cheered on your stream last night. That was my nephew, and he took my credit card." Like, so like I have to figure out like refunds and stuff like that. Like that's kind of random, but like actual weird stuff. God, I mean,
that in itself is really weird, right?
It is, because I'm like, I'm so sorry, I did not know.
Yeah. But I mean, in the moment as well, you can't really do much about it. Right, like while you're live and streaming, you just be appreciative of it. You've got no idea that it's
no. And like I expect, like if someone's donating, especially if it's like more than like a small amount, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, this is a financially independent like adult, most likely, not like a kid with their mom's credit card.
Yeah. Someone that has like actually thought out, oh, I really enjoyed this person's, this person's training. I like being a part of their community. I've been a part of it for a while, and I want to help support them. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're thinking as a streamer behind the donation. And then it's like, oh, it's this kid that was like, oh, I really like this person.
Hey. So that's like, I was like, oh, okay. So I'm figuring out how to like pay them back without like confusing it too much, because like Twitch takes like 50% and like I don't get it for like 30 days. So I'm like, how do I do this? Yeah. But that's more like a weird random thing. But like actual weird stuff, I mean, it's the messages.
Yeah.
Like I've gotten nudes from random dudes that I have never talked to in my life. They'll just send me a picture with no context. And I'm like, great, you ruined my day. Like I didn't want to see that, but here we are. And then I
would love to just quickly on that. Quickly on that. If you're a dude watching this, don't send random nudes.
We don't want them.
What do you think's gonna happen? Like
he sent it, and the caption on it was like, "Send a nude, winky face." I was like, I saw that and like retracted everything. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Like
that did nothing for me.
Going to, but I'm also not ever going to be able to look or talk to you in any other way. Like you kill it. You've killed it. You squished it.
It's just like, and like maybe some girls are into it, but for the most part, in my experience and my girlfriends, it's like maybe guys like would be happy to receive a random nude. When I get a random nude, or girls, it's like, it's upsetting. Like I didn't want to see that.
Yeah, no, exactly. I don't know. I like personally, I don't think I have any friends that would do something like that. So I just don't understand the like mentality around it. Or maybe it's just super like, well, I've got absolutely no chance. So
here we go.
Yeah. Let's just send this out there and see what happens, right? But
here's like a really weird one. And I'm not going to use his like name or anything, but this is so strange. I'm not judging you if you watch this, no judgment. A guy who, he didn't even watch my stream. He saw me in a YouTube video in like a reaction compilation that someone posted. And he messaged me on my Instagram account and was like, look, I have no chance with you. You're out of my league. Can I please be your bitch?
Wow.
He was like, I'll do whatever you want. I'll send you money. Like, you can, like, I just want you to like make fun of me and like laugh at me and like call me like a bitch boy.
What?
I was like, what? Like, I've seen stuff like that happen on TikTok. I didn't think it actually happened.
That's so crazy. So
that was wild.
So naturally you wrote up a script and started just laying into him.
I was like, let's see, like, is this for real? So I gave him my Venmo and I was like, you're pathetic. And he was like, fuck yeah, I am. He's like, men are trash. And I was like, what? So I have like let that go, but I was like, that is probably the weirdest thing. And that happened like this week.
Wow, that's just so crazy. But
no judgment if you're into it, but like I didn't know that was real.
Yeah. No, I just wouldn't know how to react to something like that, right? Like I'm sure
hilarious.
You didn't either, because it's kind of just like, yeah, but each to their own, I guess. If it was hey, I feel like that is a more polite way of, you know, reaching out for some kind of interaction than
he was very normal other than that.
Yeah.
I felt so bad. I was like, I'm sorry. Like this has never happened to me before. I was just curious. And he was like, no, this is good. And I was like, okay, I don't think this will happen more, but
yeah, this was gonna stop.
But I feel very guilty.
yeah. Oh, that's so funny. Well, I'm glad we got some insight into the weird things that can happen, right?
It's wild.
That is wild.
The internet is wild.
Yeah, that's so crazy. Well, let's take a twist away from the weirder, and but that's super interesting. I can imagine that it's only the type of thing that as you get bigger, it's going to happen more and more, right? Like
I cannot imagine what streamers like Pokimane or Valkyrie get, like, because like their content is very normal. So like for someone like Amaranth or someone, like I would expect they probably get that a lot. But for people who just like play their games and chat, like Pokimane or Valkyrie, I'm like, oh god, I can't imagine their DMs. They must have it like muted or something.
Yeah, for sure. Or have it on like only people they follow, I think. You know, like, yeah. But even then, I reckon they probably have someone that they've met in real life they think is completely, you know, like, I want to say normal, but you know, like that they don't expect that to be, you know, something that they're into, and then it'd be like a whoa, okay, you're like that type of person, you know what I mean? But yeah, crazy. So we're looking forward. We've got obviously Halo Infinite that's coming out. You're kind of playing your horror games and like, a few other things like up until then. What else have you got going on? Like who are you stream? Like what don't your stream normally get to know about you?
I feel like once I log off of stream, it's like, unless I tweet something or post something on my Instagram, I don't really talk about or broadcast what I'm doing. I mean, I have a full-time job. I work anywhere from like 40 to 50 hours a week, depending on how busy it is. So like sometimes I have to work on the weekends. I work from home, so it's easier now. But so I work full time, and then I obviously stream like probably 12 plus hours a week. And then there's time that goes into, you know, the Twitter and Instagram and prepping your stream and when you have to upgrade things. So, and I just started going back to the gym a month ago. So I'm trying to do that 4 times a week.
Awesome.
And that takes up most of the time in the day, gym, work, and stream.
Yeah, doesn't it? Yeah.
And I live alone, so like I'm the only one that cooks or cleans all my things. So that takes up some time. But I mean, my parents live not that far away, so I see them a lot of weekends and spend time with my parents. My best friend moved. I live in Atlanta. My best friend moved down here halfway through last year, so I see her occasionally. We're both like super busy. I've been trying to get a dog for ages. I'm on a wait list.
Oh wow, what type of dog?
I'm getting a European Doberman, and I've been on a wait list for like a year, but we're getting closer.
Yeah. So you've been waiting for like a particular breeder for the...
Yeah, so I looked at the shelters first, I promise. First of all, Atlanta shelters got cleared out when the pandemic hit, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So the only things that were left because I was really wanting a Doberman, there was a mixed puppy, but he had special needs, and a senior dog. And I feel like if I have had experience with dogs before, I would have been okay with that.
Yeah.
But I need a dog for a specific reason. And I feel like if it has special needs, I've never even had a dog before. I don't know how to care for that. So I'm just getting a puppy and starting fresh.
Yeah. So European Doberman, they're the like pointy ears and black and brown.
Yeah, like, they're really like
super
sleek.
Athletic. Yeah. I'm thinking of the same one. What made you want to get one of them?
Well, first of all, I'm getting one as an ESA. I was first prescribed a Rottweiler, but then I requested a Doberman instead. And then Living in Atlanta, his kick can be a little wild here if you're a woman living by herself. So, getting like a guard breed or Dobermans are specifically bred as personal protection dogs. So I unfortunately have a lot of trouble, even just in broad daylight, walking around. That's when most awkward stuff happens. So having a big, scary guard dog is a good deterrent.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but I'm so glad I'm a guy.
Like, no, I don't blame you.
I'm so glad because I mean, yeah, that's just so ridiculous that's even like, you know, a thing that you have to do in your life as a woman. You know what I mean? Like, just being able to. Anyway, that's just so crazy. So, what is it? If you don't mind sharing, what happened that made you start thinking, all right, I want a dog. I want a guard dog.
Well, I've always wanted a puppy. I tried to convince my parents my entire childhood, like, to get a dog. They're cat people. So like they love dogs. They're like, I don't want one. So I've always wanted a dog. And then I've always been attracted to like the more muscular athletic breeds. And I wanted to get a guard dog or like a guard dog breed or a protection dog because one, I live by myself now. Two, I don't have a car in Atlanta. You don't really need one in Midtown. So I walk everywhere. I walk to work. I walk to any errands I need to run, unless it's too far away and I Uber. I walk to the gym. I walk for exercise. I jog. And stuff just happens too frequently. And the crime in any city, but in Atlanta as well, is a little too high for comfort. So having... Like, I guarantee if I have a dog that looks like it could be like a police dog, like half of that will stop occurring.
Well, I hope so. Yeah. Are you going to train your dog personally, or are you going to take him to get trained or her to get trained? Because
I've never had a dog before, I'm definitely going to take it to like either get a trainer or go to like a group training for like basic and advanced obedience. You can do protection training, but I'm not sure if I want to do that just for legal reasons. Like if it's bite trained and it bites someone it's not supposed to, like they can be put down, and like I don't know if I want to have that risk. So well, the first 6 months or so of having this adorable little puppy is going to be amazing. I'm so excited.
I can't wait to see all the pictures going on. Hopefully you post them on Twitter, and I'm following you on Instagram now as well. So
it will be on everything. I'm going to get like a puppy cam.
I love that.
Stream.
You definitely should.
And there will definitely be pictures on Twitter and Insta because I'm just going to be like obsessed.
Have you got names sorted?
I've been planning to mail this whole time, so I have like a guy name, but if I end up getting a female, I don't have anything picked out yet.
Yeah. It's also, I feel like you've got to kind of see
like meet them.
I've got a dog back in Australia who I miss so much. He's like 7 years old now. And his name's Mars, but for the first 24 hours that we all owned him, he was called Romeo, and it was just didn't feel right. Like all my friends, like when we went, I picked him up with like 2 carloads of friends because he was just this adorable, purebred red and white border collie. And everyone would come and see all the puppies, right? And, when I picked Mars up, he was the only one that was this dark red color, and the owners are actually going to keep him to be their like new stud dog, like to breed, because the color goes like if you breed a washed out red, then they're more likely to have more washed out puppies. But if you have a dark red, it keeps the color. And I was like, no, I really want Mars, right? And they're like, we're only going to let you take him if you buy the breeding rights for him as well. Anyway, did it. And took him, and I was leaving, and everyone was just like, oh my God, this dog is like a little Romeo. He's just cute. And so we called him Romeo. And then I was walking around with him, and I was like, he's not to me, I was like, that feels like so cringy and whatever. Yeah. And I was looking at him, and I was thinking, I called him Mars Bar first, like as a name. And then I was like, Mars is a really good name for him. I'm just going to call him Mars. So I think, after you kind of had your puppy for a while, you'll kind of be like, okay, this name really suits, and I'm going to.
Or like a nickname, or because you always like shorten it. I don't know how you can shorten Mars, but.
Well, no, Mars Bar and Marzipan. I don't know why. They're like the things that I've always called him. Mars Bar when he's being all fluffy butt. I don't know. That's the other one.
The little wiggle butts.
Yeah. I can say, look at the little fluffy butt. But yeah, no, that's really cool. So, okay, we were talking personal side of things. Oh, do you have a partner or have had or anything like that?
Not at the moment. I went through a complicated breakup about a little over a year ago now, so I'm just kind of like doing my own thing.
Yeah.
But I haven't dated many people. It's never been like a priority for me, I guess.
Yeah. And you're super busy at the moment as well, from what you were saying. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that because you're working from home 40, 50 hours a week, something like that. What do you do for work?
So I feel like it's not a very well-known profession, but so I'm a landscape architect. That's what my degree is in. That's my official title. I'm not licensed yet, so I guess I can't technically call myself an architect, but unofficially I'm a landscape architect.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Everyone thinks it's landscaping. It's not.
Yeah. So what is it?
Oh, it's so complicated. It's like my director compares it to like having like a bachelor's in business because there's so many things you could do with it.
Okay.
Basically, this is how I would describe it. It's like the design of spaces for, it's like you design everything but the building, sometimes also the building, but it's like the design of spaces using like nature and intending it for people and bringing in sustainability.
Yeah.
That's a terrible way to describe it, but
no,
so like it's so many things.
Yeah. I'm piecing it. I'm imagining for some reason like a university space where like, you know, you got to have places for people to be able to sit and you're going to be able to incorporate some environment into it. But at the same time, it needs to be, I don't know, am I on the right track thinking about that? Or
you could guess so many things and you'd be right. Like to give you into perspective, like what some of my classmates do who took completely different paths with it than I did. Like I have a classmate who works at a botanical garden and they help design like what their display is going to be for the season. You can work in forestry. You can work in conservation, or you can go more towards the design engineering side like I did. And like I work on designing campuses, military bases, streetscapes, redesigning entire cities, like city add-ons. So for me, it's like super large scale, or you could just like focus on like the horticulture aspect of it and the ecology.
Yeah.
So
that's actually really awesome, because I can imagine as well that's something it doesn't get boring, right?
No, all my projects are so different, and it sucks because like I want to like be able to talk to my family about it, but I don't think I've worked on a project yet that I haven't had to sign an NDA for. And my team usually travels a lot. So pre-COVID, I was in the office for, I think, 2.5 months. My first day, I was in the office for 3 hours, and then I was traveling with my team to somewhere else. And then, so there's a lot of travel, or at least there was. I don't know how it's going to change now, but yeah, it never does get boring. Like I've been doing it for, I feel like I'm lucky because I found this company really randomly. And like my director is my mom's neighbor, and she was like, he's a landscape architect. And I'm like, no, he is not, because you never find them.
Yeah.
And then he was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's super diverse. I've been doing it for like since January 2020, and like I like it. It's a lot of work, but like I enjoy it. So it's not like I'm like, oh, I hate my job.
Yeah. No, I get it. Well, you're in a better place than a lot of people, right? Like, so
yeah.
Well, 2 reasons. Some people just don't even have a job because of COVID, for one thing.
I was really scared that they were going to do layoffs, but my company fortunately did not.
Yeah. No, that's so fortunate for you. But that's really cool. So, and we're talking about gym as well. Obviously, you were training before this, which
yes.
I love that, right? Because I don't know if you heard me talking to Real Life Spartan about it, but it's something that I've started bringing up like at the end of each podcast, just to kind of show the general population of, you know, content consumers or other content creators how important it is to have that balance in your life, being able to do some exercise for various reasons. And it's something that's really important to the like the core value of like what Divine Mind's all about as well. So tell me, I guess you said you only just recently got back into it. You had a little bit of a break and now you're getting back into it. How do you feel getting back into training?
I feel good now. A month ago it was awful. I'm one of those people that has like always done a sport. Like I think my mom put me in sports when I was in like first grade, and then I just was in a sport every year of school after that, and then throughout college. So I didn't really get into lifting until I was done with college sports, like early in college.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love lifting. I hate cardio. I wish I liked it. I do not like running.
Yeah.
So I just lift. I don't know. I just like whenever there's something I want to add to my schedule, I just treat it as if it's like my job. So like with streaming, like I have a set time that I do it every day. I try to stick as closely to that time as possible and make sure I do it on those days. Yeah. Same for the gym. Like if I have to go during my lunch or in the morning or after work, just as long as I get it in.
Yeah.
And I just like to like be fit.
Yeah.
So it just makes me feel better. I feel like when I work out, I feel better all around.
Yeah. So. Yeah, definitely. I completely agree. What's your favorite thing to train at the gym?
It might be cliche, but I like legs.
No, not at all. I think I like training legs most as well. It's like it kind of
a huge muscle group.
Yeah. And you feel good afterwards, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's a really good workout. But yeah. No, that's awesome. And so what type of sports did you play while you're going through university and that type of thing?
So I've tried like a ton of things, at least for like a season, but the ones that I enjoyed and like stuck with for a while, throughout middle school and high school, I did kickboxing in an academy in my town for like 5 years. And I love MMA. It's so much fun. It's like my favorite kind of exercise. I was going to join an MMA here to get into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because I felt like I'm so used to kickboxing. I wanted to try some like mat work, but COVID.
Yeah.
But I love sparring. I love boxing. Well, kickboxing specifically. I was a swimmer. I started really late. I took up swimming when I was a junior in high school. So like when all my teammates started when they were like 4, I was like super behind.
Yeah.
Somehow I did it for like 2 years in high school. And then I somehow had learned enough to get onto my college's D3 team because I was on a satellite campus for a year. So that was a huge jump. That was going from like swimming 45 minutes, like 3 days a week to swimming 3 hours a day at like 6 days a week.
Yeah. Wow.
And that was a massive jump. I've probably never been that fit in my life.
Yeah. But that's probably why you don't like cardio anymore either.
Like I like swimming. I can't really do it with red hair. But oh my God, it was an insane workout. At our peak season, we were swimming 10,000 meters a day.
Yeah.
And like I could eat anything. Like it was burning so many calories.
Yeah. What was your stroke? What did you swim mostly?
So because I learned so late, I just could not wrap my head around butterfly. And I was not very good at breaststroke. So I was a freestyle and backstroker. I can kind of do fly, but I like could never get my head up enough to breathe. So I just wouldn't. So I hated doing it.
Yeah.
And like I was so slow at breaststroke. So just the other two.
And that's cool. And so what, you just competed in more like university level stuff?
Yeah. So I went to Penn State and their main campus has like a really great D1 program. And like a lot of our athletes go to the Olympics and are like,
awesome.
Go on to huge teams. So they're really good. I'm not that level. But our satellite campuses are like D1 or D2 and 3.
Yeah.
So I competed at the D3 level.
Yeah. That's so cool though. I love it. I used to be a swimmer as well. Pretty much the whole way through high school and maybe a few years just out of it. So I remember the grind. There was a lot of early mornings, a lot of miles up and down with the black line and that type of thing. But
were you guys also into the chocolate milk? All the swimmers here like just drink it like it's water.
Really? Yeah.
That's like everyone's recovery drink here. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I had I don't know, it was like before creatine was big, it was like this creatine and lemon thing that I always drank. I don't know why, but
it was rough.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I don't know why, but it was like when I had it, I felt better. So it was probably one of those what do you call them? Like when you when you think it's helping.
Like a placebo.
Placebo, yeah, it's probably more of a placebo thing back then. But I completely lost track of time, and I think we've been talking for way over an hour. So.
No worries.
It was good to get to have a bit of a chat and get to know you a little bit more. There's 2 questions that I generally ask everybody towards the end of the podcast, and that is, the first one is, if you saw yourself 5 years from now, what's the like dream version of OathxX look like?
Oh boy. I don't know if it's achievable in 5 years, maybe with Infinite, but I mean, like I said, I love my job, but if I could comfortably be a full-time content creator, that would be awesome. Like, to just be doing like streaming and other types of content creation full-time, that would be great. And working more with 343 if that's possible.
Yeah. Awesome.
That'd be great.
I love it. That's really good. Well, I think a good place to start would be put YouTube content out.
I plan to. I need to learn how to edit first. I have the program installed. It's just I haven't like sat down and learned it yet. But I have a plan.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm looking forward to seeing what you put out. It'll be fantastic. Okay. And then the second question is, obviously, Real Life Spartan tagged you in. Who's someone that you think would add value to the conversation that'd be good for me to chat to on the podcast?
Who have you had so far? Have you?
I've had a lot. I can't remember.
You've had like 20 people.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've had them yet, but what about Talkwin, the Reachway? Right?
No, I haven't had him.
Talk to Talkwin. He's fun.
Okay, cool. I can
and he does YouTube and streaming, so.
Yeah. I've seen him on Twitter. I don't know if I've caught a stream yet. I think I've seen him on YouTube. So that'll be really interesting. Yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah.
I'll let you just reach out to him first and say, hey, Liam from Divine Mind's going to message you just to make it nice and easy. But no, it was awesome to chat with you today. Before we finish up, is there anything else you wanted to kind of chat about or put in there for people that they should know about you or anything like that?
Nothing comes to mind at the moment. I think we covered a lot of bases.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was really great to chat with you. If anyone watching this, I would highly recommend jumping down into the description of the video, clicking all the links there, making sure that you're following Oath on everything. Jump into her stream, show her a lot of love and support. Obviously, we've got lots of goals coming into Infinite. So it'll be good to kind of see what happens between now and then as well for you. But thank you so much for watching the podcast, guys. If you have any suggestions, make sure you leave a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I'll see everybody on the next episode of the podcast. See you later.
Thanks.